Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back with another Marvel Rivals video. Today, we're taking a look at Loki, and he is probably the most complex strategist in the game. Again, I'm going through the strategists for you guys because I think a lot of respect needs to be put on these characters, and the fact that, again, you can do a lot of damage with most characters. It's just a lot of people are always going to pick DPS or tank. Even a lot of the tanks don't even get used, but we're here to talk about Loki anyways. So his mystical missile is his main attack here, and this mystical missile, there is actually a lot of, I want to say, kind of depth to it. I mean, there's a reason this character is 4 out of 5 star difficulty. It did take me a while to kind of figure out Loki's whole kind of game plan of what he does best, but his mystical missile is obviously it fires missiles that either heals allies or deals damage to enemies. Now, the interesting thing is that the actual projectile itself doesn't do any damage. It deals damage after the fact when the spell is released out of the missile. So essentially, yeah, this is a single cast projectile with delayed impact that also generates a spell field. And this spell field is going to be the field that either damages enemies or heals teammates. So the projectile deals no damage, like I said, while the spell field inflicts 30 damage per cast. He does have 10 ammo in the staff, if that makes sense. And again, same with the healing. The projectile does not provide any healing, but the spell field provides 40 health per cast. So 40 health per cast and 30 damage per cast when shooting it at enemies. There is also fall off damage, beginning at 0.5 meters, decreasing to 50% at 2.5 meters. And you can't actually crit hit with Loki. So interesting, because with Mantis can actually get crits, which is pretty good to know. I mean, the difference with Mantis is that you can't obviously heal your teammates by shooting them like Loki can. So that is a little bit more convenient. And you do have to treat his staff, his missiles, you literally have to treat them like tiny, like little grenades. So you don't need to necessarily hit the opponent head on. You just need to have the area of effect of the missile on them. So I like to shoot at their feet almost. But that's his mystical missile. So a few little tidbits there. And then obviously he has so the whole purpose of Loki, the how you get this character to work and why it's 4 out of 5 is you have to use his doppelgangers to the maximum. That is how this character is going to be good. Essentially, if you get his doppelgangers out, you want to throw down his doppelgangers. You want to, and on the left side of the screen there, you can see your doppelganger's health. And obviously, you can use his, I think it's, Devious Exchange, which you can use to swap through the decoys and confuse your opponents. And again, like, he's a god of mischief, right? So you're swapping through decoys. But the biggest thing about having the 2 other decoys out is that they shoot where you shoot. They heal where you heal. So if you have them in good areas with lots of open space, Loki thrives in open space. But if you have these decoys in open space and you're doing triple the damage, triple the heals, you need to have his decoys out all the time. So right here, when I'm invisible, how you want to start the matches, you want to go invisible, throw down your 2 decoys, because you can place the decoys while you're invisible. You want to set up your 2 decoys, be invisible, and then just start shooting. Another interesting thing you can do is, because his decoys can't move and they stand still, if you're confident in doing this, you can stand still yourself and your opponent won't really know who to shoot, right? If you have your decoys in specific spots and you're just standing still, they might think you're a decoy and they might ignore you. They also might shoot you, because sometimes the decoys are just annoying. And to be honest, when I see Loki decoys, I just shoot the decoys. I don't care. I just want to get rid of them. But you could do that to kind of confuse, and then they're not going to know who to shoot first, kind of thing, right? Because they obviously want to try and take out the real Loki. But if you stand still, which I have done, it still is kind of better to move, I think. But in specific situations, it could come in handy. So there is also that little tidbit. And the other thing, too, is that with his decoys, he has the Regeneration domain. And the Regeneration domain is insane. So It's with the runestone, so you hit, you hit the button and you spawn. Every single decoy spawns like basically like a mini healing station, where not only does it heal you over time, but any damage you take in that rune field converts to health. So you could have like Punisher like gunning you down with his ult, and if you're standing in the rune, you get all that damage converted into health, which is insane. So it actually says the spell field is sustained by runestones. It will disappear if the runestone is destroyed or if its maximum duration is reached. Allies within the field will receive healing over time, and any damage taken will be converted into healing based on the amount of damage taken. And it is like a cylindrical spell field. So, and you guys, you clearly have seen them. Another thing that's interesting that I didn't typically use is his backstab ability. So pull out a dagger to stab enemies, dealing extra damage when attacking an enemy from behind. So the damage that you do is 30. The backstab damage is plus 15. Total of 45 damage. And here's the first MVP game here. 20. I think that was 20, 0, and 8. I think that's what I went in that game. But I don't typically use the backstab because, again, you're a healer with Loki. Your main goal is to heal your team. You don't necessarily want to be pissing around in the enemy backfield trying to backstab them. I guess if you end up in a situation where you can kind of get behind somebody, maybe do a backstab. But at 45 damage, I'd rather just shoot them for 30 with the staff. Like I don't think it's really worth it. But it is bit of an interesting tidbit. If you do melee with Loki, try to like melee them in the back because you will do extra damage. And then yeah, the deception ability where he goes invisible, I showed you that. You want to use that either like if you notice your team is kind of getting killed, you can use deception, because when he uses deception, he leaves an illusion in its place as well. So unless somebody sees you, if he gets shot while in deception, you automatically reappear. But I usually use that again if my team gets wiped and I need to retreat, or to start off, where I go invisible at the start of the match and set up my clones and then just kind of wait for a good opening to start attacking. And I think that's pretty much it. We went over the backstab, the devious exchange, doppelganger, regeneration. Oh, I guess his God of Mischief, that is the last thing, his actual ult ability. And his ult ability, you transform into the character of your choice. You can transform into a teammate or into an enemy, and you get their ult. So you use Loki's ult, and then whoever you transform into, you have their ult charged. So that can be super huge. I think I do actually use it in this game, or maybe I already did. So I'm kind of reading and watching at the same time, but I think I did. I transformed into Luna Snow in this game, and I'm pretty sure Hela was going to kill us all, but I transformed into Luna Snow. Her ult has just constant healing, which saved us. So depending on, I mean, it's really fun to turn into Iron Man and get like the pulse cannon. There's a lot of good ults you can steal. I've gotten some trash ones though. Like in the first match, I was using Magneto's. I know nothing about Magneto's kit really. I haven't really used Magneto that much, but wasn't doing that much damage or anything with Magneto. But his, God of Mischief ult is pretty cool. And it can definitely swing a game if you end up getting like an enemy's like a really good ult to help swing whatever situation you're in. But that's also where you kind of gotta just know, or almost get, I don't want to say lucky, but you gotta kind of know what you need, and it's kind of like a spur of the moment kind of thing where you just have to decide on the go, like, hey, who am I what do we need here, like what's gonna help us out the most kind of thing. So I see why he's 4 out of 5. He's definitely tough for sure. And the doppelgangers, I didn't even realize how important the doppelgangers are. Like in order to do damage and heal to the maximum amount, you need to be spamming doppelgangers. Like you need to always have them up. So just make sure that you have that in kind of the back of your head, that you need to have the doppelgangers out. And there is a team up with Hela where when Hela lands a final hit in defeating an enemy, she can instantly resurrect Loki in the respawn phase, or grant them bonus health if they are still alive. So that's a little bit interesting there. That got a nice little team up, nothing too crazy, but we are actually almost at the end here. I've been playing Loki. I've been playing Loki like all day, and I finally think I got the hang of him. And now that I kind of have my 2 MVP games, I think I am going to actually move on to another strategist. I don't mind Loki. I feel like, I don't know. I definitely like Mantis and Cloak and Dagger better. I wouldn't put him in my top favorite heroes, and I'm also just not a I'm not like a huge fan of Loki as a character in general. Like I do also want to play characters that are fun and characters that I just like in general, but not too bad. Loki again, 4 to 5. If you're just learning strategist, I probably don't recommend this character, but if you want a bit of a challenge, a strategist, pick up Loki, man.